Yeah, we need you.
Greeting, mighty companions. All right, everybody just said they were ready for a miracle. So
Yeah.
I think
They can't hear us,
all
right?
right.
It's not
I just turned it on.
Oh, okay.
There was
Okay.
some hooting
Now we
and
have to
hollering.
have calm and
Yes.
Right.
cool.
So we are going to let's do a little opening meditation, shall we? And
Shall we?
let go of the world, and let go of our day, and let go of our week, and see what happens. You never know. When you get present and
And
let
you
go,
close your eyes.
and you close your
Might not
eyes
be
and
in
you
this
go
space when you wake
within.
up.
Oh my! No telling. Anything's possible.
Especially if you're driving.
No, don't do it if you're driving.
Yeah.
All right. All right, so let's close our eyes and take a breath.
The guy decides to hit you because he doesn't know what you're doing, and then you're
All right.
or joins you.
All right. So take a breath. And let's instruct our awareness to move inward past the sights and sounds of the world, past even our body, drawing our awareness inward to where the idea of limitation and separation is impossible. Drawing our awareness inward to the place where loss and death is impossible. That inward. Breathe. And let's draw our awareness to this present moment now. Right here, right now, where we are. Where God is. And where everything that's good and beautiful and holy is waiting for us. And we say to our higher self, the self we share, this holy instant do I give to you, Spirit. Be you in charge, Spirit, because I am certain that your direction for me, Spirit, will bring me peace and miracles of healing and miracles of joy and miracles of abundance. Of Course in Miracles teaches us that the thoughts of God are in our mind because our minds are connected to God. So all the beautiful, loving, powerful, eternal, limitless, powerful ideas that are in the mind of God are also in our minds. Which means all we have to do to have those miraculous, powerful, limitless ideas is to go within our own mind. all the ideas that bring peace and power and joy and healing, all the ideas that bring the miracles that we need for peace and joy right now, they are in our own mind, right here, right now. And so we say, the thoughts of God are in my mind. The thoughts of peace are in my mind. I would like to find them. And so we breathe and be present in this moment now. Feeling the power and the peace and the love in this present moment. And we just relax into it and just breathe it in. We just rest. Oh, it feels so good to rest our minds into peace, into love that's already there within us. I rest in the peace of now. And breathe. I rest into the love that is already in me now. I need do nothing right now but rest in the peace within me now. I rest in my own perfect completion right now. I rest into my eternal nature right now. I rest into my spirit that is free, free of all limitations. Now, I am not a body. I am free. I am not my body. I am a spirit, deathless, timeless, and free from all limitation forever. I am a spirit. I am deathless. I am timeless. I am free. Feel your true self. Feel it. You are not your body. Feel yourself as the spirit that you are. Enjoy it. Feel how eternal you are. Feel how unlimited you are by time and space. This is the truth about you. This is accurate perception about you. Breathe in your real self. Feel how expansive it is. Feel how your real self goes all the way back into the past and all the way into the future, all the way into eternity and back. And because this is who you are, because of this, there is nothing to fear. In this holy instant, as I feel my true self, my deathless, timeless, free self, I realize, I remember there's nothing to fear. Right now, I am free from fear. Feel how your true self is free from fear. Feel that. Be that. For just a moment, let yourself feel your natural state of your true self, free from fear. My true self is free from fear. Thank you, true self, for not letting me forget you. Thank you for not letting me forget that I am you. I am my real and true natural self. That is unlimited, deathless, timeless spirit who has nothing to fear. Thank you. Thank you, God, for creating me free from fear forever. Thank you, God. Beautiful. And then just take a breath. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath and bring your awareness back to your not you. Your not you body. Remembering and thanking God that your true, real self does live within you. You cannot lose it. You can return to it and unite with it and join with it any moment, any moment, any moment, any moment. And there will come a time when you will not return back to your not self. There will come a time where you will choose to be only who you are, and that's it. Thank you, God, for that. I'm looking forward to that. Oh, beautiful. Wonderful to see you guys. Thank you guys for going there with me. Doesn't it feel good to go back home to your real self sometimes? Oh my God. Woo! My goal is to love myself more so that I will be my natural self and go home to my natural self more often. That's one of my goals, that I will love myself even more and let myself be my natural self more frequently than I do now. That's one of my goals. And that's why I study A Course in Miracles. It helps me to love myself more and to not be afraid to go find my natural self and to just, be in that ecstasy and be healed by that. So, yay, beautiful. All right. Hi, everybody. Hi, Tricia and Irene and Darren. Lovely to see you all. And who else? And Jean and Patty. Hi, Patty. The Patty, all the girls are here. And Daniel. Hi, Daniel. Daniel says, hola from Ajijic.
Hola.
Hola from very cold Colorado. Beautiful. Okay, so we're going to do the random number generator because I didn't have time to do that before class. And so we all just did the random number generator prayer. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you agree we just all asked our higher self to choose for us where we go in the course? Okay, here we go. Chapter 10. And will you look at the table of contents and tell me how many sections there are?
I'd say there's about somewhere in the neighborhood of 5.
5. All right. I turned up the heat to 72.
Feels like it's cooler.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe you're
I
on the
thought it
vent.
was hot.
Yeah. I turned it up to 72.
I feel hot too.
Well, it was hot,
Yeah.
and I thought it got cool.
So
Okay.
you might have to put on your jacket or grab a blanket.
Okay.
Or go sit next to Greg. He's
Yeah,
very.
come over here,
Greg,
Joe.
Greg,
Sit
sit in
between
between
me
you,
and
Greg,
Between
and Chloe.
me
You'll-
and the way Chloe's facing,
you'll be
you're going to
too
get
hot
warm.
in no
sooner.
time. Okay, so it's chapter 10, section 1 in the blue covered edition, which I call the edited edition.
Oh, you know what? There was an introduction, but number 1 is at home in God. That sounds,
But what? No way.
yeah.
In chapter 10?
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Number
Not-
I
1.
said 5.
Did
I
you
thought.
say-
Oh, that's
1?
fun. Yeah, that's funny. Yes.
10 was 5.
I said chapter 10, section 1, and it's called At Home in God.
Oh.
Isn't that weird? We were just, what a coincidence that we were just talking about going home to your natural self.
I got it.
At home in God. What a coincidence. Isn't that funny?
The whole meditation, I'm sitting here thinking, I couldn't stop thinking about tomorrow.
Oh, right. Exactly. And thank you for sharing that. You know, the whole meditation was about going home to yourself, coming back home to yourself. And then tomorrow we're going to celebrate that Greg's mother, Velma, went back home to God.
Yeah.
And for 7 days, when I was with my mother in Atlanta, for 7 days, I said, I'm so happy for you. You're going back home to God. I'm so excited for you. I'm a little jealous also. You're going back home to God. And it has everything, all of your favorite things. You know, And that was the theme of my time with my mother for 7 straight days. You're going back home to God. I'm so happy for you. I'm so excited. I wasn't like, I wasn't like sad. I wasn't like, oh my God, look at you. You look horrible, oh no, you're dying. I was like, I'm so happy for you. You're going back home to God. You've done your work. You finished your work. You've completed it. You did it well. I'm so happy for you. And I kept saying, you deserve to go back home to God. You deserve to be home in God. And then Greg's mother, Velma, who had been in hospice for 6 months, was like, I can't wait to get home to God.
Yeah.
she was like, what is taking so long? She literally said that to Greg and I. What is taking so long? And Greg and I were like, well, I don't know. Is there something else you need to do? Or, is there something else you need?
Or something
Exactly. We said, do you need to work on your taxes? And actually, she did get up. She did ask for help to be carried into her office to work on her taxes.
Wheelchair.
Isn't that hilarious? And then right after she finished her taxes. Now that's Velma. That's Velma for you. It's like, well, I got something to finish. Okay.
One
last thing. I'm going to cross that thing off my list, and then I'm going home to God. She didn't want anything to hold her back. She didn't want anything to hold her back. So she was like, couldn't believe it when I saw her in there doing her taxes.
It's
so
her
funny.
first story of
Yes.
who will do this.
Yes, exactly. So funny.
There's nothing to do.
All right, so we're in chapter 10, section 1, and Greg Jean says, sending lots of love to you, Greg Quinn.
Love you, Jean.
Okay, and we love you, Jean.
Love you,
And
Michael.
Darren says, wow. And beautiful. And Tricia says, someone's visiting. All right.
All right.
Okay, who could that be? No telling. No telling. All right. At home in God. Funny that Spirit brought us here to this section tonight. All right. Okay. It says, you do not know your creations simply because you would decide against your creations as long as your mind is split, which means to attack what you have created is impossible. Okay, so we have creations, we are creators, we are creating creations. We may not realize it, but every time you have a loving thought, you are creating. You are creating a creation. You are creating a creation just like you were created. You were a loving thought that in the mind of God that God extended out. And just like God, you create like God. You extend from your mind through your loving thoughts. So home is calling. Okay, so we are creating. We're creating all the time. We're creating the good, the beautiful, and holy every time we have a loving thought. But we don't know about those creations. We walk around thinking, when am I going to do something? When am I going to be productive? When am I going to fulfill my function? Why am I not doing anything? We walk around feeling like, oh, we haven't done anything yet, right?
Totally.
Right?
Totally.
When am I going to do my function? When am I going to get to my work? When am I going to, is it going to be after I retire? Then I'll have time to do my creations. Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
What exactly is our creation?
Yes. And I said, the Course in Miracles says that every time you have a loving thought, you are creating. So your creations are your loving thoughts that extended from your mind and went on creating in their likeness. And the Course in Miracles says that what the real world is the real world is all of your loving thoughts. That's what the real world is. So when you leave your body or whatever, when you wake up and go to the real world, it is going to be 100% populated by all your loving thoughts. All your loving thoughts that took form and were creating in their likeness. Does that sound like a good place to go to? Another word for the real world is home. That's another word for for the real world. To go home is to go back to where your creations are waiting for you. To celebrate you, thanking you for creating them. That's home. Or, some people refer to it as heaven. And remember, heaven is not a place or a time. Heaven is a state of mind. So like in our meditation, we went within, we went home, to where all of our loving thoughts are and where all the loving thoughts of God are, right? We went to a place where there is no limit, where there is no death, where there is only love, where there is only your loving thoughts. That's what we did in our meditation, right? And so our creations are our loving thoughts, that every time you have a loving thought, since love can't be contained, when you have a loving thought, it's born. And then because it can't be contained, it goes out and it cannot be contained by the body, and it goes on creating in its likeness love and forever, because love not only cannot be contained, but it's eternal. And we have all these creations, these beautiful creations, the good, the beautiful, and the holy that we've created that we have no idea about. He goes, you don't know your creations. I'm like, I have a whole world of creations I've been creating all this time? I thought I was a lazy loser.
Right. Exactly.
I thought I had really, just been kind of lazy and, procrastinating. And I thought, I was like hoping that I was going to finally get to it and finally do it.
Still trying to achieve it.
Exactly. I'm still trying to achieve something. I'm gonna achieve something someday. When I just have the time. When I just have the money. When I retire. When my kid goes off to school. I'll be able to achieve something.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, no, you've been creating this whole time. You've been creating this whole time. All right,
Yeah.
I've got to plug this in. This needs to be plugged in. I think this is okay here. All right. Okay, so it says, now why don't I know about my creations, okay? That's the question. If I've got all those awesome creations, they're just waiting for me, well, how come I don't know about them, okay? Well, you don't know them because you've been deciding against them, because you've been attacking them, because you have a split mind. Every time you choose fear, you're attacking your loving thoughts. You're attacking your creations. Every time you choose a fear thought, you're not going to know your creations. You're not going to know your loving creations. Every time you attack yourself, every time you have a fearful, angry attack thought. Okay? That's why you don't know about the good, the beautiful, and the holy that you've been creating, because you're focusing on your fear thoughts. So you don't know the good you've done when you're afraid, when you're angry, when you're attacking yourself or another. How are you going to know about the good you've done? So that's why you don't know about your creations. But remember that it is as impossible for God to attack God's creations. Okay? It says, but to attack what you have created is impossible. But remember that it is as impossible for God. So God, it's impossible for God to attack God's creations. Now, is that what we learned about God in our religious traditions? Come on. Is that what we learned about God? No. This, of Course in Miracles says it's impossible for God to attack God's creations, and for us too. And the law of creation is that you love your creations as yourself, because your creations are part of you. And so everything that was created is therefore perfectly safe, because the laws of God protect it by God's laws, love. And so any part of your mind that doesn't know this has banished itself from knowledge, because this part of your mind has not met knowledge's condition. Now, who could have banished yourself from knowledge but you? It certainly wasn't God, So that whole story where God banished you from the garden because you chose knowledge, you know, when you ate of the apple that the woman tempted you with.
Yeah, I
Of course.
remember her.
Greg's like, I remember her. She was hot. Of course she was. She had to be. Yeah, well, that wasn't God. That wasn't God who banished you from knowledge, you know, because you didn't meet knowledge's conditions, okay? That wasn't God who banished you from knowledge, okay? That was you. That was us that said, I don't deserve to be happy. I don't deserve to be loved. I don't deserve to be free for some stupid reason. It's not God who said you don't deserve knowledge, you don't deserve love, you don't deserve peace. God cannot attack God's creation. And that said it's impossible, no matter what his creation did. So no matter what. And it's saying that we can't really attack our creation either. It says, and so recognize this gladly, for in this recognition lies the realization that your banishment is not of God and therefore doesn't exist. Okay. So he's saying here that the good, the beautiful, and the holy, the loving thoughts that I have extended, that I have had, that I have created, I can't attack them, meaning I can't banish them. I can't get rid of them. You know, I can't, you know, I can't destroy the good that I've done. I can't destroy my own creations.
They've already been set in motion.
Exactly. They're 100% protected by the laws of love.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever good I've done, the love I've given and extended, they are 100% protected by the laws of love. You know, if you've seen a house, this house is protected by Smith & Wesson. You know, the good I've done is protected by the laws of God, by the laws of love. So you don't have to worry. You know, we're like, yeah, well, you know, the good I've done's been canceled out by all the stupid mistakes I made. You know, and that's what we believe.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because what we learned about God is that God's a big scorekeeper. Oh, you did good, great. That's a point for you. Oh, you did bad today. Well, I guess I'm going to have to cancel that out. You know, better luck next time.
That one mistake, you lost 3 of your blessings.
Exactly.
That you built up.
Exactly.
3 of blessing credits.
Exactly. That is what we've learned to think of God. That God can attack God's own creations. That God can judge His own creations and go, well, you know, that's it for you. You know. It's a miracle that any of us on planet Earth have any peace or joy.
I know.
Because of what we've learned about God, it's a miracle that any of us have any peace or any joy. We learned that, you know, that our own Creator attacks us, wants to attack us and judge us. It's creation. We've been taught that our Creator attacks us. Jeez, like, how is anybody supposed to have any kind of peace or feeling of innocence or worth or value when you learn that your own Creator thinks you're a dipshit and is judging you and may not write you in the book of life next year? I mean, how are you going to have any sense of self-worth? I mean, really? I mean, unless you learn something else, you can't have any real self-esteem here. Woo.
Just keeping it real.
Just keeping it real. Exactly. Oh, God, it's so crazy. Okay, so the good news is that the loving thoughts that we've had are eternal. They cannot be undone. And they are protected, and they go on in creation, okay? And that I cannot banish myself from knowledge. I cannot banish myself from heaven. I cannot banish myself from home, no matter what it is that I think I do, right? It's, you know, my loving extensions, my loving creations are protected by the laws of love. Okay. Now, and that's true about us too, as a creation of God, a creation of love. So, now, it says, and that any perception of banishment is not of God. That's not God. Okay. Guess who that is? That's you. That's your idea. Banishment is your idea. Right. How's it working out for you? How's that idea working out for you? Okay. I'm always afraid that I'm going to be banished by love. Please don't banish me. Please don't banish me from your love. I'm always terrified that I'm going to be banished from love. Don't banish me from your love today, honey. What did I do? Right. If you believe that banishment is of God, you're always going to be worried about being banished from love.
If you believe it's possible
Yes.
that anybody be banished from God, then that possibility is what brings about the fear that it could be happening right now and it could be happening to you.
Exactly. If you think God banishes God's own creation, then then everything, then it could happen from anywhere at any time. How you not gonna fear love? And if God, who supposedly is love, banishes God's own creation, then then the greater the love, the more you're gonna be terrified of that love. Because if God, supposedly the author of love, banishes, then I gotta be afraid of love. And the greater the love, the greater the fear. Because love banishes. Wow. Okay, that was paragraph 1. Okay, Monica, that was one paragraph. Okay, everybody breathe. Let's see if we can recover from paragraph 1. Okay, I always tell people, if you don't breathe during a Course in Miracles, you will pass out. You'll be like, hey, go touch Susie over there. She's turning blue.
Right. There's not a lot of middle ground.
Exactly. Okay, I love. Monica says we go to Mass thinking we are relieving our sinfulness. ? We go to Mass thinking we are relieving our sinfulness. Okay, that's a question. I guess so. Yeah, we go to our religious services thinking that we are. Hi, Lexi. It's good to see you. Thinking that we are what? That we are relieving our sinfulness. That we're somehow doing our duty, and maybe we are diminishing our chances of banishment by a little percentage. If you go to Mass often enough, maybe the percentage, the drops of your eventual banishment.
But if you don't go, your percentage goes up.
Exactly, but if you don't go to that religious service, then your chances of banishment kind of go up a little bit more, So I'm so glad that banishment is not of God. Love does not banish. You do not need to be afraid of love. That is a thing that's what we need. The Course in Miracles says our deepest handicap, the Course in Miracles says we're handicapped, so retarded. And that our deepest handicap is that we do not know the meaning of love, and because of that, we're afraid of love. And so we attack love, and we send love away. We reject love. We fear love.
We crucify
love. The greater the love, the greater we fear it. The greater we sabotage it. The more we push it away. Our deepest handicap is that we don't know the meaning of love, and we're afraid of it. Wow. So if you want to not be handicapped and be a fully functioning child of God, then learn the real meaning of love so that you won't be afraid of love. And one of the meanings of love right here that we're hearing is that love does not banish. Love only protects its creation. That's it. That's all love does. Protects its creation. That's all love does, is protect you. Real love.
And doesn't that sound loving?
Doesn't that sound loving? Yes, exactly. Doesn't that sound like what love would do? And
like what a mother or father would do with their
exactly.
child?
Come on, if your earthly parents, would protect you the way they did, then what about the unlimited Creator? And Monica says, that's what I learned in Catholic Church. Yes. We all learn that, Monica, in all of our different religious, you know.
The Catholic Church doesn't have the copyright.
No, the Catholic
idea.
Church doesn't hasn't cornered the market on guilt and sin. They all have. You think about all the world's religions. The cornerstone of all the world's religions is sin, which means God is mad at you. You could do something that pisses God off so bad because you know He's sensitive, and that God would banish you from heaven. You know, that is the cornerstone of the ego's belief system. That is the cornerstone of the ego's belief system. Sin.
That God is vulnerable.
That you could hurt God's feelings. Because He's so sensitive. And that because of that, God will banish you from heaven, from home. And that's why the Garden of Eden story is in the Genesis. It's in the first story of the old, you know, one of the oldest religious books. It's the story of that the creations of God, Adam and Eve, could do something that was so bad that it caused God to banish them from heaven, the Garden of Eden. Heaven is a garden. Now that's the first story. That's the story of the ego.
The ego is born.
That was the birth. You know, that was in creation myths. You know, that every culture has creation myths. Well, the creation myth of the ego is the Garden of Eden story that we hear. And that Garden of Eden story is not just in the Jewish Bible, you know, or the Christian Bible. It is in every single religious story throughout recorded history, all the way back to the first writings, the first civilization in Sumeria. That story is not just, that didn't start in the Jewish Bible. That because that story of God banishing God's creations from heaven, from the Garden of Eden, is the cornerstone of the belief system of the ego. That's the cornerstone. And that's why that story is in all of those myths, and those religions, from the beginning of recorded history. Okay, and so, you know, so this is very important. He says, any part of your mind that does not know this, that love only loves, has banished itself from knowledge. All right. And what does he say? Recognize this gladly, for in this recognition lies the realization that your banishment is not of God, and therefore your banishment from heaven, from peace, does not exist. So if you're experiencing some kind of banishment from peace, like, oh, he banished me from love, I've been banished from peace, that is not of God, that's from you. Okay, that's the good news. And then Monica says, thank goodness. All right, paragraph 2. You are at home in God. Did you know that? Mm. I thought I was at the Miracle Center in Denver, Colorado. Well, actually, you're at home in God, dreaming that you're in Colorado, in Denver, Colorado, at the Miracle Center. You're really at home in God, dreaming of exile, but perfectly capable of awakening to reality. So if you are not in peace, if you are not in joy, if you are not in happiness, health, and wealth, then you are dreaming of exile. You think you're not at home. You think you've been exiled. If you're not in peace, not in abundance, not in joy, not in, heaven, then you are dreaming that you've been banished. Mm-hmm. That's what it means when you're not happy, when you're not joyous, when you're not happy, healthy, wealthy, and wise. You are dreaming that you've been banished. Okay? Have you ever felt banished by love? Was that a snort?
Matt's over there singing a song. Let me count the ways.
Exactly. It's the chorus of every love song. I've been banished by love. Please, love, please take me back. Definitely all the country western songs.
Yeah.
banished by love. And he says that if you're not experiencing joy and peace and abundance, then you are dreaming that you're not at home. You're dreaming that you've been banished from heaven. But the truth is that where you really are is at home in God. Jerry! Jerry! Long time no see. Jerry, did you know that you're really at home in God, just dreaming of exile?
Yes.
Yeah, of course you did. Of course you did. Of course you did. Okay, so that's what's really going on. I think I'm in this situation, going through this trial, going through this experience, having to deal with this challenge, but really, I'm asleep. I'm dreaming while I'm safe at home. And safe at home in God. Home in God is safe at home in heaven in a garden. Okay? The Garden of Eden. The Course in Miracles says that the Garden of Eden is a metaphor for a state of mind of no need and no lack. That's what heaven is.
Contentment.
And that's what God is.
It's like the Wizard of Oz, who never left Kansas.
Exactly. To say you're home at God is to say you are in a garden, rich and deep and beautiful, where there is no need and there is no lack, and you're surrounded only by love and beauty. That's what it means to say you are home in God. That's what it means. That's what home is like. That's what home is like. Okay, and we're still there. We never left home. We were never banished. That whole story of being banished from the Garden of Eden, from home, it was just a story. It was just a story. It never happened. We were never banished.
And reality is everything really is working out
Yes.
heavenly all around us, even if we can't see it.
Exactly.
It is happening.
Exactly.
And that's the awakening,
Beautiful.
the happy dream awakening, is to see all of the good of Eden
Exactly.
all around us.
Exactly. That's the truth. When you're seeing correctly, you will realize that right here, right now, you have it all.
Mm-hmm.
You have it all. You have everything. You have eternal life. You have unending, unlimited abundance of everything that's good and beautiful and holy. Right now, we are in heaven. We just don't see that. We're at home in heaven. We're totally safe, surrounded by everything, completely safe and protected by love, totally provided for. But we're dreaming, we're asleep, having a nightmare that I have a lack, I'm in need, I have been banished by love, I don't have enough,
I'm not
might
complete.
die, I'm incomplete, oh my God, it's so horrible. That's what's going on. We're asleep, dreaming that we've been banished from heaven and that we don't have enough, and that we've been banished from love. That's what's really going on. Oh, that's not at all what I thought was going on. If you'd asked me how my day was, that is not what I would have said. He said, but that's what's really going on. And what did he say? You are at home in God, dreaming of exile, but you are perfectly capable of awakening to heaven, to reality.
Amen.
You are perfectly capable of awakening to reality, to heaven, right now. No matter what you think is going on, no matter how much money you think you have, no matter who left your life, no matter what's going on with your body, you are perfectly capable of going, oh, I have it all right now. I am in heaven right now. Everything I need, I'm perfectly complete. I have everything I need. I have no lack. I'm totally loved. I'm totally eternal. Ooh, wow. At any moment. Of course, calls it a holy instant. Perfectly capable. You don't have to go back to school to develop the capacity to awaken to reality.
You don't have to win the lotto.
You don't have to win the lottery. You don't have to wait for the right person.
You don't have to finish getting that degree.
You don't have to finish getting that degree. You don't have to, nothing has to change. Not a single thing has to change.
Don't
Not a
need to
single
finalize
thing.
that divorce.
That's right, exactly. Yeah, don't forget that. You don't have to finalize that divorce. You can, you
can be happy
you
right
can,
now.
You are perfectly capable of awakening to heaven, to reality right now. Frank, why did you use that metaphor?
Teach me now.
Is it final?
You could get a no-fault divorce in heaven.
I love it. Jerry says you can get a no-fault divorce in heaven and it's free. Thank you, Jerry. Somebody listening to this someday is going to be thanking God that you just said that, Jerry.
Yeah, they're gonna go
They're
another
like,
Jerry,
oh my God,
another Jerryism.
Another Jerryism. Oh, so funny. Hi, Michael. Lovely to see you. Okay, all right. Now, and then Darren says, the route to the garden is through the valley of death. And now the Course in Miracles does say that that the way to love is through fear. But you got to go through it, not stop in it. Okay, says you want to go through it to the other side. And right here, it's saying to awaken from it. So what A Course in Miracles would say is the way to heaven is to awaken to it. So a little different. The way to heaven is to awaken to it now. Okay? A Course in Miracles doesn't say you have to die to get to heaven. Isn't that great? Mm-hmm. You don't have to die to get to heaven. You don't have to pay to get into heaven. It's something that you awaken to right now through your awareness. Okay? I love that. Now, but is it your decision to do that? Oh, that's a question. It says, you are at home in God, dreaming of exile, but perfectly capable of awakening to heaven and reality. But is it your decision to do that? That's a very good question. I got some things to do here first. You know, I got some grievances that I got some scores I gotta settle. You know, I got some people I gotta prove that I was right to. So I got some things, you know, to do before I, decide to awaken to heaven now. You know, I got some people that I gotta settle the score, straighten out. I got some people I gotta change still.
You have to go to the ego's unfinished business department.
Exactly.
And I'm doing it all for you, God.
Exactly. You're welcome, God. I set him straight for you, God. God's like, that's not what I meant.
Not your job.
That's not your job, dear.
I've been telling them
And
how,
you're really bad at it.
I've been telling them how they all been banished.
Exactly. That's what we've thought of, as our religious authorities. They were the people, who were like, doing God's job for God, because God's really busy. I told them how bad they were for you, God. You're welcome.
Yeah, you can hear the people telling the missionaries, we didn't even know we were banished until you came along.
Exactly. All the natives like, huh? Sin? What are you talking about?
That'll be $10.
Take it from us. Take it from us. We work for God.
Yeah.
You're guilty because you're brown. Okay. That doesn't sound right. Oof, off with your head.
Give us 10%,
God, I killed them for their own good. You're welcome.
give us 10% of your harvest and we'll call it good for the day.
That's so crazy. Oh my God. But see, when you're perceiving it correctly, it's funny. Remember, the Course in Miracles said that we did our detour into hell because that crazy idea called sin and banishment, we forgot to laugh at. We forgot to laugh at it. And then the idea of banishment and sin became a serious idea. And then here we are in hell, a world where banishment seems to be, the law of the land.
Right. Hate banishes.
So let's help each other to laugh in the dream. So we're dreaming, and so How do you awaken from a dream of sin and banishment? You start to laugh at the ridiculousness of that idea, the complete and total absurdity of that idea. That's how you awaken from the dream of guilt and sin and banishment. Okay. And, and having friends to help you do that helps. Notice how it's easier to laugh at your ego when you're with somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're by yourself, your ego is not really funny. That joke does not seem funny. It seems really serious and scary when you're looking at the mistake by yourself. When you're looking at your ego by yourself, it doesn't seem very funny. But when you get with your friends, your Course in Miracles friends, then it's like, it's hilarious. Okay, so join with mighty companions. Join, especially if you have been by yourself and been torturing yourself with fear. Go join. And when you're allowing your ego to torture you, the main thing that your ego will advise you is stay alone, stay separate. Do not go call your mighty companions on the phone. Don't go to class. Don't go join with them, right? When your ego needs to keep you alone and separate for you to fall for its lies.
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing the ego wants to do is to get you off by yourself, to tell you what a failure you are and how guilty you are.
Yeah, its MO is to cut us out of the herd.
Exactly. That's exactly right. What the wolf predator needs to do is to get one of the herd off by itself somehow. That's when a member of the herd or the pack is most vulnerable, off by itself. And the ego is just like that predator, trying to get a member of the herd off by itself. Okay? So remember that, when your ego tells you, I don't want to be around anybody, I'm in a bad mood. Remember, that's your ego trying to finish the job. All right. Okay. Now, it says, right, you're perfectly capable of awakening to heaven and reality right now, but is it your decision to do so? You recognize from your own experience that what you see in dreams you think is real while you are asleep. That's right. What I see in my dreams while I'm dreaming, I think is real. Absolutely. Yet the instant you waken, you realize that everything that seemed to happen in that dream did not happen at all. Right? Everybody recognizes that. And when you wake up, you don't think that that's strange, that all that weird stuff happened and you thought it was real. You don't think that's strange in the morning when you wake up, even though all the laws of what you wakened to were violated while you slept. You don't think that's weird that you were experiencing some kind of weird nightmare dream that you thought 100% was reality. When you wake up, you don't think that was weird, that you fully 100% believed that what you were dreaming was real. Okay? You don't think that's weird when you wake up. Now, is it not possible that you merely shifted from one dream to another without really waking? Something to think about. So are you saying that when I woke up in the morning after having that weird nightmare that I thought was completely weird, horrible, real while I was dreaming it, I just I didn't wake up, I just shifted from another dream, from one dream to another, from one nightmare to another. I thought I woke up this morning, but did I? Or did I just shift from one nightmare that I thought was completely real to another nightmare that I think is completely real?
Isn't that called Dreamweaver?
Dreamweaver, exactly, thank you. That's what that song meant. And then that's a question. Is it not possible that we merely shifted from one dream to another without really waking? So is it possible that we are still in a dream that is nightmarish, that we think is completely real, but isn't at all.
Where we think we're a body.
Yeah, where we think we're a body that can be hurt and can die and lack and be full of need that can't be met. Okay? So I think the answer to that is yes, that's possible. And that's what it's saying, that we haven't woken up yet. This is a dream that we're dreaming that we think is completely real. That isn't real, that isn't happening at all. Why? Because where are we? We are at home in God. We're at home in complete safety and peace and abundance and beauty, only dreaming that we're in a body that can die and can lack and can be hurt. Okay. Anybody here actually think that you're in a body that can be hurt and can die? Yes. Okay.
Pretty much all the time.
That means we are still sleeping. That when we woke up this morning, we didn't really wake up. We just kept on dreaming. This is my waking dream.
I think it talks about, the course talks about different phases of the dream.
Yes, exactly.
And this one just happens to be fairly persistent.
Exactly. This is what
It's
we
a
call
recurring nightmare.
Exactly. This is our recurring nightmare. The life that I call it, I'm Anna, this is my body, this is my world, it's so messed up, we're always at war, there's a million ways to die before noon,
Well, this is
is my recurring nightmare. I call it my life. Oh God, that's crazy. I'm having this recurring nightmare. I call it my life. Yes.
My mother, her last day,
Mm-hmm.
I had the privilege of talking to her for 2.5, 3 hours in the morning, and I asked her if she had any dreams last night.
Mm-hmm.
And she said that she'd had that
Recurring
3 nights in a row,
dream.
reoccurring same
Right,
dream.
exactly. But it was a happy dream.
Yeah.
And that what that brings me to is that there's going to come a time when we decide when it's our decision to do so, there's going to come a time when we're going to really wake up to reality and we're going to go, that was so weird. I mean, oh my God, the weirdest stuff happened. Totally impossible stuff happened. That was so weird.
Yeah.
And
I was limited to this little
I
tiny
was-
speck of a body.
Totally, I was imprisoned in a body, and every day I had to feed the body, and every day I had to clothe the body, and every day I had to work doing stuff I hated to shelter my body. Oh, that was a nightmare. And then be like, whew, I'm so glad that was just a dream. And be like, you'll have sweat, on your, there will come a time when we decide to do so, that we're going to wake up from this dream and thank God that was just a dream.
Mm-hmm.
And he said you can do it anytime. You don't have to die to do that.
Perfectly capable.
Perfectly capable of awakening from this dream that we call waking to, where we really are, which is home in heaven, home in safety and abundance and joy and beauty, where we're not having to work to live. Talk about a nightmare. You got to earn your right to live. You got to go to work every day for all your life doing something you don't really love to do. You got to earn food to eat to keep your body alive. That sounds like hell, actually. You got to say,
Yeah.
I'm glad that we are perfectly capable of awakening to the real world any moment we decide to do so.
Where you don't have to earn to be you.
You don't have to earn the right to live. And then not only do you have to earn the right to live, but you have to make sure you work to earn the right so that your children can live.
If you want some
God.
love, you gotta
That
sacrifice.
sounds like hell. And it is hell. Actually, it is a nightmare. He says you're at home in God dreaming of exile. This is the experience of exile, having been kicked out of banished from heaven, even though we're the ones who did it.
And we're worried about getting banished.
And we're so concerned, and we're going to our religious institutions, you know, hoping to not be banished, you know, from heaven. No, you already been banished to hell by yourself, you know, by you did to yourself. So why are you worried about going to hell? You are in hell. Stop worrying about going to hell. You know, focus on awakening from hell. You know, focus on realizing you don't deserve hell. You don't deserve to be banished to hell, to exile. You gotta earn your right to live, you know. Focus on, I deserve to be in heaven. God placed me in heaven. And if God put me in heaven, then that's where I am. Even I can't banish myself from where God put me. That's what A Course in Miracles is teaching us. You can't be something God didn't create you to be. You can't be somewhere God didn't put you. You know, God is your author, your creator. And if God created you in heaven, you know, as only love, then that's where you are, and that's what you are. And A Course in Miracles is helping us to awaken to that reality, to that truth. That's what awakening means. Oh, I see. You know, that's what A Course in Miracles is helping us to do, to awaken to where we really are and what we really are and what we really have in heaven, in reality, in the Garden of Eden. Whew, and that's why our ego doesn't like A Course in Miracles. I don't know if you've noticed this, but your ego doesn't like the Course. I don't know if that's occurred to you.
Oh, boo-hoo, we've been doing it.
That's right, boo-hoo for you,
We've
ego,
been doing
too
it
bad.
the ego's way
I've been doing your
long
program
enough.
for too damn long.
Long
So
enough.
too bad for you, ego. You parasite. Ignorant parasite. Jeez, God, you know. Ego's not even grateful that you've sacrificed your happiness for eons. It's not good enough for the ego. I've been sacrificing my happiness for eons for the ego, and the ego's still like, that's not good enough.
What have you done?
I want the rest of this lifetime too.
You're eternal, I want more.
Exactly, exactly. The ego is an evil, ignorant parasite.
And all it is a belief system.
And all it is a belief system. That's all it is. That's all it is. Just a thought. And a dumb one. a dumb thought we forgot to laugh at. That's all the ego is. That's all it is. I don't have to worry that the devil is going to strike me dead. You know, that the ego is going to strike me blind because I just, you know, smack talked it. You know, I don't have to worry the ego is going to come get me. Because the ego is just a belief and a dumb one in my mind. I made it. You know. I tell you what. Sometimes I smack talk the ego in front of my dad. My dad's like, don't say that. Knock on wood. Just do a poo-poo. Put salt over your shoulder.
Oh, to live like that.
What'd you say?
Oh, to live like that.
Oh, to live like that. Oh my goodness, so funny. Okay, and then beautiful. Hi, Peter. And Monica says you have to earn luxury items and things to show your value, and work to prove yourself worthy. Yep, that's the nightmare that we're dreaming. That's the dream that we're dreaming, that we've been exiled from heaven, where you gotta work for your right to live. Oh my goodness, ego's so mean. My goodness, all right. Now, it says, so it asks us the question, is it not possible that you merely shifted from one dream, your night dream, to another dream, your daydream, without really waking? Well, would you bother to reconcile what happened in your conflicting dreams at night, or would you just dismiss both of those dreams together if you discovered that reality was in accord with neither of your dreams? You know how you wake up from a crazy dream at night and you're like, I'm not even going to try to analyze that. That was stupid. You know, it's like, so, you know, you didn't even bother to try to
Right.
understand.
It's
It's so
so
much
weird.
stupid, weird stuff. You didn't even bother to try to.
And
you
it
know.
happens so much
Oh,
that
yeah.
it's not unusual that you have weird,
It's
freaky weird dreams.
whatever. You know, and then he says, and once you realize that what's happening in that dream, your night dreams, and also what's happening in your daytime dreams are both, neither of them, not even close to what's really happening, you're just going to dismiss both of the dreams, your sleeping and your waking dreams, together. You're just going to dismiss them because you realize that neither of them are in accord with reality. You do not remember being awake, period.
It's like when you're dreaming.
That's right. Exactly. Just like when you're dreaming at night, you don't remember being awake. You do not remember being awake. Now, when you hear the voice of the loving spirit, you may feel better because loving then seems possible to you, but you don't remember yet that it once was so that you were awake. Isn't that a deep thought? I was once awake. That's hard to imagine. I was like, I used to be awake? There was a time I was awake in heaven? There was a time I was awake in heaven? I was in reality? Well, wow, okay. I don't remember that. That's right, you don't. And so interesting, and when you hear the words of A Course in Miracles, you may feel better because loving seems possible, but just because you feel better when you hear the loving words of the Course doesn't mean that you're awake. Just because I feel better when I listen to these ideas doesn't mean I'm awake.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good thing for us to know as Course in Miracles students. Don't mistake just the idea that, well, they're a Course in Miracles student, they're awake. Well, I'm a Course in Miracles student, I'm awake. I'm woke. I study Course in Miracles. No. Any of your friends can tell you, if they're being honest with you, that you're not woke yet. That you're not awake yet. You just are feeling better because when you hear the ideas of A Course in Miracles, then loving seems more possible to you. It seems like you can be more loving. It seems like you can be loved more when you study these ideas. But that don't mean that you are awake yet. Okay? Good clarification.
Still making lots of exceptions.
You're still asleep. You're still asleep. You're still asleep. You're still asleep. But your dream is become more light is entering your dream.
Mm-hmm.
You're still dreaming, but more light is entering the dream. More truth is entering your dream. So even though you're still sleeping, you're hearing more and more truth.
And one of my favorite lines that I find very encouraging is, first you will dream of peace and then experience it.
Thank you. And that's what A Course in Miracles says. Thank you for reminding us that the waking process is first your dreams become peaceful. First your dreams become happy. First you're dreaming of love. You're dreaming of being loving. You're dreaming of being more loving. So first your dream becomes more loving, more peaceful, and then you wake to reality. And the Course in Miracles says the reason why there has to be this gradual awakening is because if you didn't have the gradual awakening, if you went from your nightmare right here straight up into reality, it says it would terrify you. That's what the Course in Miracles says. It would be too shocking, too terrifying. And so so your higher self, starts reminding you of love, more truth, more truth, more truth, so that when you awaken to reality, which is only love, then it's not so much of a shock. It's like now it's a gentle awakening. It's a gentle awakening. Like he says, a gentle awakening, like in the mornings when you awaken just because you have no more need of sleep. That's a gentle awakening in the morning. There's an awakening when the alarm clock goes off before the sun has come up, which is very rude and shocking to your system. Okay? And then there's a kind of awakening in the morning when the sun is up and the birds are singing, and then you just go, right? When you have no more need of sleep. Okay? That's the kind of awakening that you have when you really awaken to reality.
And your baby puts your coffee on your bed.
Yes,
and
that'll be.
Flush your pillow a little bit.
Yes, that he's saying, and your baby fluffs your pillow and puts your coffee in your hand. That he says that's the kind of awakening that you have when you awaken in heaven, or awakening to reality. It's not a sharp, jarring, torturous awakening. It's like, good morning, sweetie. Here's your coffee. Here, fluff your pillows.
Not reveille.
Yeah. That's our heaven. I hope there's coffee in heaven.
At least a little pastry.
Exactly. Well, all we know is that in heaven and in reality, there is no lack and there is no need. So there I couldn't possibly be like, oh, I've only had some coffee.
Perfect happiness.
Exactly.
Perfect
There is no
joy.
lack and there is no need. So whatever is going on is going to be the best. It's going to be good.
Yeah.
And what we want to remind ourselves, we are perfectly capable of awakening to reality right here and right now. Okay, we've got to keep coming back to that. It's perfectly, heaven is not someplace doesn't have to be in the future. Now, then it says, okay, you don't remember being awake. He says, and it is in this remembering that I once was awake that you will know that you can be awake again. I love that. In remembering or realizing I once was awake is also the remembering that I can be awake again. Oh, that's good news. That is so good. That's such good news. I can be awake again. How do I know? Because I once was awake. He says, and what is possible has not yet been accomplished. Okay, so it's possible, it's happened, I just haven't accomplished it right now, again. Yet what has once been is so now, if what has once been is eternal. Okay, so what has once been, we once were awake, and us being awake was eternal. And so us being awake must be so now, meaning I must be able to do it now. If it once was so, and it is eternal. If it was once so that I was awake, and being awake is eternal, then that means that I can be awake now. It's true now. And he's saying it is so. You are awake. You are at home in God. You are at home in God. Okay? You are there. You're just dreaming of exile.
A tiny part of my mind is dreaming of an exile.
Exactly. A tiny part of your mind is dreaming, is asleep dreaming. And the other part of you is awake in God right now. Forever. Okay? And as we remember, I love that, as you remember that you once were awake, you will remember you can be awake again. And I love it, and if you're awake then and it's eternal, then it must be so now. And when you remember, when you wake up, you will know that what you remember, what you wake up to is eternal, which means therefore is now. I love that. When you wake up, you will know that what you wake up to is eternal. So you're not going to wake up to heaven and go, I hope this lasts. I hope this lasts. Oh my God, how long do I have? You know, you're not going to wake up in reality and wonder how long you have and, you know, how much does it cost. Okay? When you wake up to reality, to heaven, you will realize that what you're waking up to is eternal. Which, what does eternal mean? What does eternal mean? It means now. Remember, now is the closest approximation to eternity that you can find in time, which means practicing the now moment is how you experience. It's like the portal to that which is eternal. The holy instant is a little taste of the eternal in a frame of time. That's what the Course in Miracles says the holy instant is. It's a little taste of the eternal in a lightly framed, in a light frame of time. Wow. Beautiful. Wow, it's 8:22. Okay, I'll just read the next.
There's only one more paragraph.
One more. Beautiful. You will remember everything the instant you desire to remember everything wholly. You will remember everything the instant you desire it wholly. Because if to desire wholly is to create, then you will have willed away the separation, which means you will have returned your mind simultaneously to your Creator and your creations. Wow. Okay, I love that. It's giving us an instruction. Okay, how do you wake up to everything? How do you wake up to the eternal? How do you wake back up to reality in heaven? It happens the instant that you desire that completely. The instant you desire that completely is the instant you will remember everything. Wow. Well, I guess I haven't had one moment yet of complete desire to remember everything, to remember heaven, to wake up to reality. Right, because I've been afraid to. I'm afraid that if I wake up to reality and remember everything, I'm afraid that means that my body will die. Because that's what we've been taught. You want to go home to God, you want to be in heaven, you got to die first. Your body's got to die. And you know how fun that is. So I've been afraid to wake back up to reality. I've been afraid to wake back up to reality and to everything. Because I was afraid that meant that I had to die, that my body would have to die. Okay, but it's saying that I will remember everything the instant I desire wholly. Because if to desire wholly is to create, then when you desire to remember everything completely, then you will have willed away the sleep, which means you will have returned your mind simultaneously to your Creator and your creations. I've been afraid to go home to God. I thought that meant death. So of course I've been not wholly desiring to go home to God and reality in heaven. Of course I haven't desired that completely. Of course, because I learned, well, you got to die to do that.
Another deliberate misdirection.
Another deliberate deception by the ego. Oh, you want to go home to God, do you? Well, you have to die to do that. Well, I don't want to die. That's right, because you are your body. So if your body dies, you die. Thanks, ego. All right.
Catch 22.
Absolutely. You cannot win with the ego. Now, then it says, so knowing your Creator and your creations completely, you will have no wish to sleep. Knowing your Creator and your creations, all you'll have is the desire to waken and be glad.
Mm-hmm.
And once you only have the desire to waken and be glad, then your nightmares, your dreaming of exile will be impossible, because you'll want only truth. And being at last your will, truth, then truth will be yours.
And you could say, because you only want gladness.
Yes, exactly. Notice that,
will be yours.
yeah, notice that waken means to be glad. You know, to waken means to be glad. You know, right now I have some other desire than to just waken and be glad. right now I have some other desire than to know my Creator and my creations. You know.
I want to stay asleep and be right.
Yeah, I want to stay asleep and be right. And I want to stay asleep in my nightmare and get some things done.
And be angry.
Change some people, you know. Prove something to the world. Wow. Okay, so I love that. So we are at home in God and in heaven in the real world. We're just dreaming that we're in a nightmare, a hellish nightmare, where we're in a body that gets sick and dies, and you have to work to live. But in any moment, we can desire the truth and only the truth. We can desire completely. All I want to know, all I want is to know the truth. And that's all I want. I want to know the truth of God and reality, where we're all in heaven, where our Creator put us, complete and eternal in gladness. You know, that's all I desire. I just want to know the truth. That's all I want. You know, in any moment we can have a holy instant where we desire that completely. And in that moment, heaven will be ours. We'll awaken from our dream of lack and death, and we'll find ourselves in the real world, heaven, you know, where there is no death, and there is nothing to fear, and there is no lack. The real world, which is where? Right here, right now, within me, within my mind. And that's the good news.
This is a great message.
Isn't that a beautiful message? And for me, it's very timely, because right now, I am asleep in a nightmare that I'm in a world where all the governments of the world want us to be at war to benefit them. You know, it's like, that's like, we're in now more than ever, I'm thinking that heaven's looking really good, that the real world is looking really good. You know, this dream that I'm dreaming is a nightmare of an entire planet that is suicidal and homicidal at the same time. You know, it's like, wow, okay, that's what we believe, you know, so I'm very encouraged to hear that that's a dream. This is a dream that I am perfectly capable of waking from any moment that I desire the real world fully and completely. So that's exactly the message I needed, because I've been tempted to be very depressed and despair as I look at the world that I'm in, you know. And I really needed to remember that that's my dream. I really needed to remember that it was a dream, that it's a dream. It's not reality. It's not the real world. I really needed to remember that, because I was becoming very upset, very depressed about that. So this is exactly what I needed.
Thank
Me
you.
too.
Today. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. All right. So I'm just going to do a couple of minutes of a closing meditation, and then we will go on back out to the lab, the forgiveness lab. Okay.
We'll see you next week.
All right.
Oh, happy Valentine's Day, everybody,
Yeah.
for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Thank you, dear. All right. Yes. Beautiful. Exactly. Darren says so. The self needs to die, the valley of death, but its death is just the end of the dream. That's exactly right. You got it, Darren. And hi, Diana. All right. Okay, here we go. So we're just going to breathe and feel. All right. All right. At home in God. At home in God. So first thing I want you to do is I want you to just do a few moment inventory of your world as you perceive it right now. Or we could say your dream as you're dreaming it right now, the world as you see it and perceive it and experience it right now. I just shared my perception of the world at large. I want you to just bring something within the world that feels like a nightmare to you. And I want you to tell yourself now, I want you to say to yourself, this is my dream. I am asleep and dreaming that I've been banished from heaven somehow, for some reason. This experience of lack and death and sorrow is my dream. I am asleep and dreaming of banishment. And tell yourself, this is not the real world. This is not reality. The fear and sorrow and pain and lack and death that I am perceiving in my world is not the real world. It is not reality. And take a breath. Thank God. And now I want you to tell yourself, but I am perfectly capable of awakening to the real world, to heaven, where there is no death, and there is no sorrow, and there is no lack. I want to awaken to reality. I desire in this holy instant, I desire completely. In this holy instant, I desire completely to awaken to reality. The reality in which God has placed me and created me, and the reality where I remain forever. This is my dream, and I decide to awaken now to reality, the reality of eternal, everlasting life and love and joy and abundance and beauty. Spirit, higher self, I am dreaming. Please help me to awaken. And to that we say, amen. There we go. That's all we need, just little, how to recognize when you're dreaming and what to do when you recognize you're dreaming. If you're experiencing lack or loss or pain or sorrow, that is how you know you're asleep. Acknowledge that you're asleep and decide that you want to awaken to reality and ask your higher self for help. Wake me up, love. Wake me up. All right. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for being here. Really appreciate it. Thank you guys for joining this healing circle. And I really appreciate you being here and strengthening these ideas. And if you would like to share and strengthen these ideas with the world, feel free to share this class on your social media. There you go. Appreciate you so much, and I'll see you next time.